Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Krendor, and welcome back to more Age of Sigmar faction focuses. Today, we're talking about the Ossiarch Bonereapers, which I'm excited for. I have OBR. They're, one of the more complex armies, I would say. There's a lot to learn with the command points and remembering all your command abilities and everything, but they can be pretty annoying to play against, and they can be pretty annoying to learn, so let's see what they did to OBR. I kind of skimmed over this earlier, so now we'll do a little more in-depth. So we've got the battle traits. Ossiarch Bonereaper armies can use the following abilities. Your movement phase. So these are Relentless Discipline. So this is where they've moved all the command points for the OBR. They talk about the Implacable Legions battle with relentless discipline, following the dictates of their commanders. In each of the movement, charge, combat phases, OBR have a choice of two abilities, allowing a single hero to instruct all troops around them. Okay, so you can pick one or the other. So we've got Declare. If no friendly unit has used a relentless discipline ability this phase, pick a friendly OBR hero to use this ability. All OBR units wholly within 12 of that hero are the target. Add 2 to move characteristic. I can never say that word. Of each target for the rest of the turn. So, okay. It's kind of like a play on what they had with, like, a unit gets +2 to move or +3 to move. I don't remember what it was, but there was a move one. Or you can reform the ranks. So, again, declare if no friendly units have used a relentless discipline. I can't say any words today. Relentless discipline ability this phase. Pick a friendly OBR hero to use this ability. For the rest of the turn, while they are wholly within 12 of that hero, friendly OBR units can use charge abilities even if they use retreat in the same turn. So it seems like the movement one is obviously something you're going to use more likely earlier in the game, while the reforming of the ranks is a little more like mid-game where you've already charged in, right? You got some mortal damage, you've got some combat damage, now you just want to retreat and, charge in again, like with your horses or something, right? So, you got both options. But say, late game, you still need the movement to get to an objective or something, then you still have that ability. So I like this. I think it's pretty cool. Then we have the charge phase, which is, they all just say the same thing. For the rest of the turn, add 1 to charge rolls for OBR units while they're wholly within 12. That's good. Anytime you get +1 to charge, it's pretty good. As somebody who has failed numerous charges by 1. Many times. For the rest of the turn, friendly units' melee weapons have anti-charge Ren +1 while they are wholly within 12. So this is pretty cool. You've essentially got the offensive and defensive abilities. So it's like, if you want to go out there and charge, you got your +1 to charge. If you want to stay home on an objective, you got your anti-charge, right? So boom. It's going to give friendly units. That's just all friendly units. I mean, you could have like 2 blocks here, 1 block behind you, and they are all getting +1 rend on the anti-charge, which is pretty solid, because that's like not just your foot guy or like your shitty infantry. Like, this could be everybody, right? Unless I'm crazy. Yeah, it's just friendly units. So, like, that's really strong. That seems really good. That's going to affect everybody wholly within 12. Then we have the combat phase ones. If no friendly units have used a relentless discipline, blah, blah, blah. For the rest of the turn, add 1 to wound rolls for combat attacks made by OBR units wholly within 12. That's pretty good. And then for the rest of the turn, friendly OBR units have a ward of 5 up wholly within 12 instead of a 6 up ward, which they all have. So again, you've got the offensive and the defensive abilities. So if you're, going out to kill something, you're popping that +1 to wound. And then if you're trying to live, you're probably taking the ward, right? So pretty nice. I like that you have the options of doing both. There's probably going to be situational things. Maybe you're a 2-up to wound. Maybe you're already at 2s to wound, so you just take the ward anyway, like stuff like that. An entire wing of your legion can be synchronized to make an unstoppable advance or reform ranks in your movement phase. In any charge phase, a bubble of units can launch coordinated charge or brace themselves for counter-strike. Combat troops within range may bludgeon or blah, blah, blah. So, I actually like this. I think, me personally, I thought it got really annoying to manage all the command points. Like, they used to have the Relentless Discipline points, which then got messed up because they couldn't use actual commands, and so it was like a weird thing in 2.0, and then in 3.0 they gave them the book where it's like, you just get more command points. And then every time you played OBR, they had like 80 command points. They're just like, that gets a Ren, that gets a Ren, that gets Ward, that gets a Ward, that gets +1 to save, that gets, they're just like going all, it's just like you couldn't stop it. This feels much more manageable while keeping the flavor. I personally like this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that don't like this because they're like, oh, it's been simplified. But to me, this is a nice simplification because you're keeping that flavor of the commands that only they can do, but it's not as insane. So, I mean, I like this. Then we have one of the battle formations. Add 1 to casting rolls for OBR infantry wizards. Cool. I mean, it's good. Adding 1 to casting rolls for all your infantry wizards is pretty good. It's really boring, right? It's like, it's just +1 cast, but it's one of those things where sometimes the most boring things are the best things. They still have Empower Naderite weapons. Goes off on a 5, which, you know, a 4 if you're running this. Pick a friendly OBR wizard within 12, be the target, blah, blah, 2d6, and target's combat attack score critical hits on 5s until your next turn. So that's pretty nice, especially because it lasts until your next turn, and it's unlimited, so you cast this on as many things as you want, as long as you have casts to do it. So really nice. Then we have the Vokmortian, 5 move, 5 health, 4 up save, 2 control. He's got some mediocre ranged attack that can't shoot in combat, so whatever. Then we also have Staff of Retribution, 3 attack, 4x3, 1 rend, 2 damage, crit 2 hits, whatever. It's mediocre. And then you've got the Voice of Nagash. Once per battle, any hero phase. This is insane. Pick a visible enemy unit within 12. For the rest of the turn, non-fight core abilities cost 1 command point for the target to use. So, I mean, what is that? Like, moving? Like, anything that just isn't fighting. Moving, charging, I guess running? Like, that's crazy. You have to use a command. So you're just shutting something down for, like, the whole... Unless that person has a bunch of command points. Like, if somebody's gotten within 12 and they're like, yo, I'm going to come attack you, I'm going to take this point, you're just like, boop. Not unless you waste command points. Like, that seems... That is so much better than what he already does currently, which was, like, he can kill something if he touches it and nobody gets near you. Like, this is so much better. Even though it's once per battle, like, that is a really strong ability. I like that. He's also a wizard, too, which is great. He's got Mortal Contract, which has been changed a decent amount. So it's a 7... Goes off on a 7. We're wholly within 18 until the start of your next turn. Oh wait, it's different. It used to be you picked an enemy. Now it's pick a visible friendly OBR unit wholly within it. Okay, I'm reading ahead of myself. Until the start of your next turn, each time the bound friendly unit is picked to be the target of an ability used by the bound enemy unit, roll a d3. On a 2-up, inflict mortal damage on the bound enemy equal to the roll as a reaction. If the bound enemy is destroyed, do not resolve the effect of the enemy ability. Interesting. This is actually kind of cool. So you're more so buffing up your unit rather than cursing something else, how it used to be. I'm curious, what are... So it says, each time it's picked to be the target of an ability. And now, I feel like isn't everything an ability? Like an attack is an ability? Or a shooting attack is an ability, a spell is an ability, right? I'm pretty sure. Or does it mean, like, just War Scroll abilities, like Voice of Nagash would be an ability? I need to look more into it, because it's like, if this is only on, like, things like Voice of Nagash or, you know, actual abilities on War Scrolls, that's one thing. But if, like, I guess an attack might not be an ability, so that would kind of be a nothing thing for that. I don't know. Somebody that knows more than I do should post down below. I'll figure it out. It's just, I don't know off the top of my head. Then we got the Soulmason. 5 moves, 6 health, 4 up save, 2 control. 2 cast, dude, a lot of 2 cast unique hero infantry wizard, which is really nice because we've been looking at all these, War Scrolls, and we see a lot of just 1 cast wizards. It's been rare to see 2 or 3, and now they've got a lot of 2, which I guess makes sense because they're like Nagash skeletons essentially, right? So I mean, I get it. I think it's cool. So they got Soulmason Staff, 4x4, 1 rend d3, crit 2 hits. Then you got Mortek's Throne, Ossified Claws, which is, you know, it's the chair. It's just kicking you. And he's got Soul Guide, goes off in a 7. Pick a visible Ossiarch Bonereaper unit holding within 12. And it gets strike first for the rest of the turn. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. And you get it on a 6 if you're running that one thing. I don't think I need to explain why strike first is good. It's good. Then we have Necropolis stalkers. So these used to be the bread and butter of the army. Hold on, I kind of want to pull up their old war scroll here. Because I think they got lowered in some... Hold on. Let me do this. Top tier YouTube video right here where I paused the video. I didn't even pause the video. It's just me looking up stuff on my phone. Here we go. Death. OBR. War scroll. And where are they? Here they are. They are the stalkers. Okay. So they're 6 move. They used to have 5 wounds. I knew something changed. Okay. So they've went down a wound. And now they are 4 attacks, 3s by 3s, 2 ren, 1 damage, crit 2 hits. They used to be 3 attacks, 3s by 3s, 2 ren, 2 damage. And that, oh, that was the Dread Falchion. Okay, so they had both. And then it used to be, they had the Spirit Blades as well, which was 4 attacks, 3s by 3s, 2 ren, 1 damage. So they got rid of the Dread Falchion, pretty much, right? And then I see that they used to have the battle trait, which was like their crits hit twice. Now it's just, they put it into their abilities, which I think is nice. A lot of times I would forget, so it's nice having it there. Then you used to, at the start of the combat phase, pick either add 1 to hit, save, wound, or damage. And now you can pick 1 of the following effects to apply for the rest of the turn in the combat phase. So the same thing, but now it's subtract 3 from control scores of enemy units while they are in combat with this unit. Okay, that could be interesting. So they're like, you know, either taking an objective or defending an objective. Then you have subtract 1 from hit rolls for combat attacks that target this unit. Then you have ward rolls cannot be made for damage points inflicted by this unit's combat attacks. That's pretty nice. And then this unit's melee weapons have anti-hero 1 ren while they are in combat with an enemy hero. So it appears that they've kind of changed the role of the Necropolis stalkers, right? Like they used to be a high damage dealing, just like, you know, go kill shit unit. Now it feels like they're a little more of a defensive unit almost, or like a control unit. Like they go to objectives, they can get rid of your control scores, they can make you have a harder time hitting them, they can, you know, if you're like some hero, they can kind of just go with Ren to take you out, or if you have a high ward save, they just ignore your ward save. They're kind of, I mean, they're definitely interesting. We'll have to see how many points they are. We have to see like if there's any ways to buff them, because I mean, you can probably buff them in certain way. I mean, you can already do the what do you call it? The +1 to wound rolls, right? So I mean, you can also all-out attack them. So, I mean, you can get them to, like, 4 attacks, 2s by 2s, 2 ren, 1 damage pretty easily, and then you're crit hitting twice. And, you know, 2 ren's still going to get through a lot, especially with people having worse saves now. And not as many ward saves or lower ward saves. So, I mean, I don't know. I think... and Mystic Shield being gone as well. So, I mean, I don't think they're bad. I think a lot of people are kind of comparing it to the old version, and they're like, they're bad now. I think they're more balanced. We'll have to see... how it does. I mean, losing the +1 damage is rough. I would say that's their biggest thing. But I feel like they have a different role now. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, right? I mean, there's still plenty of stuff to see with spells and abilities and, you know, general things and the regiments. Like, there could be regiment buffs that give them damage. Who knows, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff we don't know. Then we have the Mortek Crawler, which I got one of these. I love catapults. I love using the Mortek Crawler, so let's see how it is. It's gotten... +1 move, used to be 4 up to 5. Let's go. 12 wounds, 4 up save. And it used to have the 3 attacks, and you could pick between all of them, and you would generally pick... there's one you would always pick, I don't remember, and it's got crawler tools. So, it is 4 attacks, 24-inch range, 4s by 2s, 1 ren, D3 +2 damage. It's got anti-infantry +1 ren, and crit 2 hits, which is pretty nice. So... the 2 wound is really nice. So, I mean, if you pop your all-out attack on this thing, you're going to 3s by 2s, potentially 2 ren, D3 +2 damage, crit 2 hits. I mean, that can get pretty spicy pretty fast. I mean, every hit's doing on average, like, what, 4 damage? So you get a couple of those in, you're like 2 rend, 4 damage. You're doing like 8 damage to a big block of infantry. Like you can hit some stuff pretty hard, especially from 24 inches out. Then you've got any shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit that is targeted by all of this unit's shooting attacks. This phase be the target. Roll a dice. Add 1 to the roll if this unit's wholly within 12 of a Mortician Ossiffector, and add 1 to the roll if any other friendly Mortek Crawler units pick the enemy unit to be the target of this ability this turn. Okay. On a 4-up, the target has Strike Last. So I believe that's carried over. It used to be on a 5-up. Add 2 to the roll if it was targeted by all the attacks. So it's about the same, but it's easier if you're not doing any of these, like, if this, then that. It's on a 4-up instead of a 5, but you can still get it to a 3-up, which is nice. I mean, making something strike last on a 3 or a 4-up is really good. I mean, you have an ability to strike first, and now you have the ability to make them strike last. So, I mean, at this point, you're probably going first with a bunch of your units, and then they're going to be pretty weakened, and then, I mean, OBR is pretty, you know, they're decently tanky. They're pretty much saving on 4s across the board, and they have the 6-up ward going to a potential 5-up ward on some stuff. So, I mean, I think that's pretty solid. Then if we look at the Death Riders down here, which is the Spearhead War Scroll, but usually these are, the stat profiles are like the same. You have 10, 3, 4, 1, which is the same as it used to be. Bravery was a thing, now it's not. And they had Naderite Blades and Spears. So it used to be, the Blades were 3 attacks, 3s by 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage. The Spears were 3 attacks, 4s by 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage. So now it's 3 attacks, 3s by 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage. But they get the +1 damage on the charge, which is nice. So I don't know if they're going to keep the mortal wounds. In Spearhead, it looks like they can do models in this unit can pass across infantry models as they can fly, which is what they used to do. And then after its charge, you can pick an enemy unit on a 2-up, inflict D3, which seems to be what every army can do at this point. That has any cavalry or charging thing. So they've kind of kept that. I mean, that's still pretty solid. You're doing mortals on the charge, and then you're getting +1 damage. So, I mean, they're probably pretty solid. Depends on their points, again. But, I mean, you know, pretty good. I mean, they seem solid. I noticed they don't have the, like, leader key. Although this is Spearhead, so never mind. I don't know. Either way, I mean, overall, I think this is pretty solid. I think some people are going to be upset, which I can understand. You know, a lot of changes happening to your army, but I don't know. OBR was really annoying to play against, man. Anytime I play against OBR, I was like, ugh. And then every time I played OBR, I would just feel annoying. It was just one of those armies that felt annoying to play against or play as, especially if you took like the 2-up spell ignore and stuff like that. So let me know what you think down in the comments section below. And if you want to see some more faction focuses, go check them out right here. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Okay. See ya.